Hello there, my fellow angel friends and light workers and beautiful souls. Believe it or not, this is my first video, and I have been compelled to talk about this and to create a video so that I can share it and empower you to be in your divine truth, to be better at who you are, uncovering who you really are. And this is part of my passion. So for those who don't know me, I am Noreen Colt. I am a holistic energy healer. I'm certified in many modalities of energy healing, including Reiki, Master Teacher, Usui and Karuna Reiki, Reconnective Healing, Reflexology, Cranial Sacral Work, essential oil therapy, crystal therapy. I'm also a certified past life regression hypnotherapist. I do prefer the word soul journey coaching. So I'm also a channeler and a light worker and a energy alchemist and many things. But the purpose I'm here, the whole reason I am here, is to really help people awaken, to help them heal, and more importantly, to help them be empowered. And that is the whole purpose of this video. I want to share with you something that I've been seeing so much more of, especially at this time right now. We are just now entering the Lion's Gate, which started yesterday on July 26th and is going to be moving forward at the peak until August 8th. And with that energy, it is really forcing us to look very deep within ourselves, to heal ourselves so that we can really embrace our creative energy. But in the middle of all of that, we're kind of in the middle of a I heard my friend Elise Perez say a clusterfuck, a cosmic clusterfuck, but it is very similar to that because it is creating a turmoil of energy within us. There is almost an internal war of old beliefs and what our old patterns are and what we were taught in so many lifetimes, including this one, versus all the promise and all of the possibilities, infinite possibilities of who we truly are as fifth dimensional, sixth, seventh, and starseed beings of light. So with that turmoil, with that challenge, with those doubts and with those fears, you're seeing a lot of what's going on in the world right now. And part of that is attachments. And this is a subject I really want to talk about today. I want to talk about the 6 steps of how to remove an attachment, and more importantly, empower you to know what it is, how to sense it, how to remove it, and protect yourself from any additional attachments. So first step is, what is an attachment? I feel that an attachment is really of someone piggybacking on your soul. You have one body, you have one soul, and oftentimes we kind of get travelers. Usually they are intrigued and attracted to our lights, but they find chinks in the chains when we're in a space of doubt and fear, and we put ourselves in lower vibrational situations, meaning that we are connected to people that we know are so-called energy vampires, or where we know we're in a situation we're not feeling good. Quite honestly, our body tells us everything. Our emotions tell us everything. We know intuitively what feels right and what doesn't feel right. And oftentimes we are in a disagreement with ourselves, and we tend to go along with what doesn't feel right just because, well, we're usually trying to people please, or we're trying to always say, what the hell, or, you know, it's my mother, it's my father. There's so many reasons to do things that doesn't feel right. Maybe she's your best friend. So when we are in a space of fear and doubt, those are usually times that attachments will find their chinks in a chain to get into you. As far as what kind of attachments we're talking about, they can be anything and everything from a lost soul that just is looking for a place to camp out and find some light, and those are usually the most innocent ones, to very aggressive, what I call unfriendlies, and they can be grays, draconians, reptilians, Anunnaki. There are so many species out there that feed on greed and fear and doubt. And the reason I'm sharing this is because I personally actually experienced this a number of times. I've released attachments. The very first time I did it, I actually went through hypnotherapy. And from then I realized that I can do this myself. And then I went through a very challenging time where my home and my family was actually taken over by what was known as reptilians and draconians and greys. I literally saw them walking in my house at nighttime out of the corner of my eye. I had awful dreams of being experimented on. My children had night terrors and nightmares for quite some time. So it wasn't until I took back my power and I took back my home and released those attachments and the implants that I realized true freedom. So I do this because I personally experienced it, and I have helped hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of people to release attachments and any kind of negative experience or lower vibrational experience to empower them. So I'm teaching this and sharing this so that I can empower you to do the same. I strongly feel that the greatest gift to the world is the awakened soul. So if I can help you be awakened, healed, and empowered, then I know you can go and do that for somebody else. So how do we sense or know that we are experiencing attachment, or maybe we're experiencing or sensing attachment with somebody else? I've gotten to the point where I'm very diligent. All I have to do is, my little radar goes up and I'm like, oop, someone's got an attachment. There are several different symptoms or that I find are common with so many of them. I know for me personally, I experienced that it was a sense that I was angry, I was fearful, I was experiencing emotions that didn't even feel like mine. I couldn't understand why I was feeling these emotions. And then I was actually experiencing thoughts that didn't even feel like mine. I'm like, why am I even saying that? Where did that thought come from? I felt depressed. I felt almost like I wanted to give up hope. I felt blocked. For some people that I speak to, and I've had helped others that have gotten to the point where it's so serious that they had suicidal thoughts or tendencies. And one of my friends that I had helped, the husband was saying that she was almost talking a different language and acting completely irrational. I had helped one 14-year-old autistic child that out of nowhere said he had suicidal thoughts, and they didn't know where it came from. After the healing, after the attachment's gone, the suicidal thoughts are gone. He's back to himself. So these attachments create an environment where we're not ourselves. We're not our true divine selves. So I know a lot of people also even experience it on a physical level. I have another client that she knows now when she gets an attachment because she has a rock iron stomach, and now all of a sudden she can't stomach anything. So it is very common that they connect to our solar plexus. Our solar plexus, or our stomach area, is our battery source. It's our battery power. This is our energy. It's like the sunshine of our bodies. And that they like to zap on that. They like to feed on that energy source. So oftentimes getting the stomach aches or the lower back aches is very common physically. So they do tend to connect or inhibit us physically, mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually. So step number 2, it's time to be a light worker. Once you are familiar and you have scanned and you have sensed what is going on, I don't feel right. Okay, I don't feel right. Why do I feel right? Do I have any of these symptoms? What's going on? You can even ask yourself, ask your guides, excuse me, what's going on? Does this resonate with me? So once you have established that part, now step 2 is, how do I take care of this? What do I do? If you're not familiar, obviously you can consult someone who is much more experienced at this, but I can tell you, for those who are experienced and maybe dabble or are light healers or Reiki practitioners, or more aware of their energy and more aware of what they're sensing, this can be removed, and it's relatively easy. The most important part is to stay in a place of joy and of fun. So I know that sometimes when I'm dealing with a particularly challenging entity or unfriendly, I know sometimes my guides actually drop a disco ball into my healing room and play music in my head to remind me that this is fun. So to remove excuse me, the light, to be the light warrior, as I call it, and that's what I am a light warrior, is to remember, it's kind of like in between being a Marvel comic hero and someone from Star Wars with their lightsaber saving the world and fighting for the force of light. So to remove it, first you need to sense it, and whatever capacity that might be for you, it might be hearing it or feeling it or knowing it's just there, or to whatever capacity that you personally are sensing that something is not right. Once you sense it, I kind of act like Spider-Man, and I use a lot of sacred geometry. I'm very visual, so I see things very visually, but I tend to see it very much like Spider-Man tossing or throwing out his web and encasing it, or how many there are of them, in a web of light. And that's what you are. Remember, you're a light warrior, so you are using light energy and love. And infuse that with fun and joy, and remember that this is all good stuff. So be that action superhero, extend that web, and capture that entity, or unfriendly as I call them, and surround that being in light. And you're surrounding it in love. It's almost like giving it a love blanket. The light, the web reminds me of the sacred geometry that I use and the light force that I use. So I like the analogy of using a spider web or Spider-Man's web. I also suggest that you use this light from the inside out and the outside in. So in other words, imagine going to the very center of the web and infusing that with so much light that it's extending outward and then from outward back inward. So this sucker is not going anywhere, or however many there are. Make sure that you get all of them. So do a scan on yourself and make sure, or whoever you're working with, make sure that you have the whole kit and boodle. And they could be a mixed mob of whatever. It could be, you know, an unfriendly gray or a draconian, or something might hiss at you and be reptilian. It doesn't make a difference. Just make sure you get them all, wrap them up tight in that little bubble or blanket of love, and put them in this package. So that is step 2. Also, do remember, I use the violet flame quite a lot. So if you don't know what the violet flame is, Saint Germain's violet flame, look it up. Saint Germain is an ascended master teacher. He shares with us the violet flame, and this violet flame actually acts as energy alchemy. It transmutes all negative energy into light. So we are also energy alchemists. Remember that. So step 3, now that you caught this sucker, what do you do with it? And so often, I don't know if anyone saw the recent Ghostbuster movie, but it is very much like Ghostbusters. It's like, okay, they caught it, they put it in this little container, and the thing is bubbling about, and like, okay, what do you do with it? There really only are 2 choices. First choice, obviously, as an energy alchemist, we can transmute to love. If it's an innocent soul that just kind of lost its way, yes, we can transmute it to love. We can help it cross over wherever it needs to go for its benefit and a mutual benefit of love. If it's an unfriendly, and what I do is I usually ask myself, okay, or I ask my guides, where's this sucker going? And oftentimes I've been getting the answer that it's going to the councils. So we have reached a point in a time on planet Earth where these lower vibrational beings are really not welcome here. Mother Earth is ascending very rapidly, 5th, 6th, and now 7th dimensional light. And quite honestly, they cannot exist in this vibration of light. That's what it comes down to. So they are pulling out all the stops. They're really infringing on benefits that do not belong to them, and they're no longer entitled to. So oftentimes it kind of reminds me of post-World War II, when the Nazis were called to go to court for their war crimes. And that's what this council reminds me of. It reminds me that, yeah, some of them are actually going to council and have to deal with their war crimes, so to speak, on planet Earth, even though they're really not supposed to be here anymore. So you got you got your unfriendlies in the capsule. Now you got to ask yourself, is it being transmuted to light, or are we going to the council? Transmute to light, I just see it going to the vortex or going to wherever it needs to go, trusting. I call in my trusted guides, Archangel Michael, Gabrielle, Saint Germain, whoever your trusted guides are and angels are, have them help you to whatever capacity you need. And again, if they need to go to the council, I literally see sometimes they just kind of get sucked into a Well, sometimes I see it as being flushed like down a light toilet bowl or sucked into another dimension, but they get shipped off to the council. And whatever it is, it's gone, you're done. Now, where are we? Number 4. Or 3. I apologize. I think I kind of combined 2 and 3 together. So number 4 is now they often leave behind implants or strings or strands or cords, and we have to make sure we clean up the mess after they made a mess with you, yourself, or someone else that you're working with. So important to neutralize and remove the implants. Some of the implants might be old. I've met many people, including myself, that had implants from when I was a child and didn't even know it. I wasn't completely aware of it. Implants are, to describe it, is like a computer virus. That's exactly what it was. You know, you have hackers all the time that have Trojan horses or whatever, and they infect your computer with a virus, and that's the whole point of it, to mess you up. So when I see implants, oftentimes, especially if they're from really unfriendly ones, like reptilians, draconians, so forth, it's almost like disarming a bomb. I mean, it looks like it's tentacles, and it's got many different strands, and it's across multi-dimensions and bodies of yours. It's mental, physical, emotional, spiritual. It's in your etheric field. There are actually reports that it's even in a person's physical body, although I have not seen it. For me personally, I experienced it with my silver mercury amalgams and the fillings in my teeth. And once they were removed, that's when I finally had a release of all the implants. But to remove the implants, it's a bit of like etheric surgery. And depending on how in tune you are to it, you can either just ask your guides or your angels to help you with that and have them take care of it. Or if you're needing someone more experienced, or if you're visual. Personally, for me, I see them like a virus. I have to find the source of the virus first, neutralize that sucker. Sometimes it's detailed. Sometimes it's unlayering layers and layers in a box. But whatever the case is, I get to the root of it, and very similar to how I did my spider web over the attachment, I do the same thing, but with a little more care and detail to get into the center of it and disarm it. And then once you find the source, the rest kind of just falls away unless it has fail-safes. So it can be a little more detailed, but I assure you that the implants can be removed. At the very least, I can assure you that the implants cannot exist in a higher vibrational body. So if you are of such a high vibration, it cannot exist in that environment. It would automatically just transmute to light. So the 5th part is now the healing part. Now that you remove the attachments, you remove the implants, sometimes they leave a lot of holes in between there. So the healing part is, I don't know if for most people, if you are experienced, are either a healer themselves or they go to healers, Reiki, whatever it is that you do. So now it's time to fill up the holes, to fill your body with healing. When I do healing work with clients, especially after an attachment or removing an attachment, I find that they kind of leave holes or they kind of mess with the brain. So my guides have taught me something called gray matter reschemating, and literally that is the removal of singed brain synapses, and then now reconnecting new brain synapses. I see also the opening and the clearing of the pineal gland to get all that light flowing inward again. There is so much love and light that goes into the solar plexus, because obviously the energy force, that powerhouse, has often been depleted. So every healing is different, but wherever that healing needs to go, there's usually so much work that's done in the heart center. And I find that whenever someone is healing after an experience like this, they're often ripe for a major awakening. You're now making room for more light to come in. So people oftentimes experience a major awakening shortly after such an experience. So look at this experience as a blessing. It is not an awful thing. I mean, it's not fun to go through. I agree with that. But it is a blessing in its own way. I mean, when I went through this for months and months and months, I was so miserable. But I have to say, the fact that I can now help other people do this and heal from this is empowering. I know there was a reason why I had to go through that and experience that so that I can now help other people. The last thing I want to say is number 6, which is now make sure that now that you received your healing, scan for wherever the source of where that came from. It could be an open portal in your home. It could be a person that's in your life that's just feeding that. So you make sure you cut all those cords, seal the portals, and clean your space. More importantly, sage it, rose water, selenite, whatever capacity that you enjoy doing, or if you want to learn more, I'll be happy to teach you more about that. But in 6 easy steps, that is pretty much how you detect and remove an attachment safely and easily, and how you heal from it and are empowered from it. And now that it's gone, make sure that you protect yourself. So make sure you're grounded. Make sure you be vigilant of your light and where you're giving your power away to. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been such a pleasure connecting with you, and I am so excited that I got this video out, and there will be many, many more to come because I want to empower you to be a better you. And you can find me on Facebook. My personal page or my business page is Noreen Kalt, N-O-R-E-E-N, and Kalt, K-A-L-T. I have several different Facebook groups, including Angels Advice and Twin Flame Discovering Your Magic. There are books coming, there's writings coming, there is so much coming, and I'm so excited to connect with you guys, and I cannot wait to connect with you again. If you have any questions, find me on Skype under Noreen Kalt, or better yet on Facebook. I am looking forward to connecting again, and guys, have an awesome, awesome day. Thank you.